Howdy y'all, Jordan here. Before I get into the meat of the video, I do have to acknowledge the tragic passing of London Knights forward Abakar Kazbekov at the age of 18 this past Saturday. Abakar played for the London Knights in their game on Friday against the Owen Sound Attack, which was a 5-2 victory for them, and then Saturday morning he was found deceased at the base of the building where he lived. It is pretty much well known that it was a fall. I don't know if it's been officially determined whether it was accidental or on purpose. I know people have speculated on that, but I don't know if it's appropriate yet to officially confirm one or the other. But what we do know is that any death of someone that age is a tragedy, and my heart does go out to the London Knights and anyone who may have known Abakar personally. My heart goes out. It's just a sad thing, man. I'm not going to go too far into the hows and whys of what happened because there's still a lot that isn't known, but I am going to leave you with a couple of clips from when the London Knights were here a couple weeks ago. Both of them were cut for time from the original video. That video ended up being quite long, so I cut some things that I normally might have put in. You can see a number 15 skating by in those clips. And I'm also going to leave you with the moment of silence from the Steelheads game on Sunday that the Steelheads had for Abakar as well. So I'll leave you with that. And if any of you are struggling, please know that there is help and people do care about you. And please reach out. Thank you. Hey, these aren't real knights. No swords or anything. They lied to us. I mean, they do have helmets, I guess. Yep. Perfect angle this time. Attaboy, Becker, attaboy. It's a really good run.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Steelheads and the Rangers from the entire Ontario Hockey League is mourning the sudden passing of London Knights player Abakar Kazbekov. The thoughts of the entire league are with his family, friends, and the London Knights organization. It is with heavy hearts that we observe a moment of silence for Abakar. Thank you.
Steelheads! Goal! Welcome, welcome, welcome. I hope you all had a wonderful week. My name is Jordan Davidson, and this is a special holiday edition of Behind the Bench. If at any point this season the Mississauga Steelheads are down 3 goals in a game and come back and win that game, I will do the one-ship challenge on a future episode of Behind the Bench. Follow along with these hashtags. If they go down 3 goals in a game, it is a one-ship watch. And then if following a one-ship watch, if they either take the lead in regulation or get the game to overtime, it is a one-ship warning. And then once the game is officially won, it is a one-ship event. Follow along with those hashtags, and you may get to see me cry. This past week, the Mississauga Steelheads played 2 games up north, Thursday in North Bay and Friday in Sudbury, before returning home to play the Kitchener Rangers on Sunday. I was only at the home game this week. I was not able to go to the road games because they were too far away and it wasn't the weekend yet. So I only have video from Sunday this week. Apologies for any inconvenience, but let's get the weekly recap started. Before we get into the game in North Bay, though, a little bit of an oddity. Kasper Larsson was suspended for this game. But wait, wasn't Kasper Larsson suspended last Friday? And didn't he come back from that suspension last Saturday? Yes and yes. So what happened? If you go back to the December 7th game in Hamilton, remember there was a huge scrum where there was a lot of fighting. Mason Zapeski and Florian Jacka participated in the first fight of that scrum. And then Kasper Larsson and Ryan Humphrey participated in the second fight. So they both got game misconducts for that. And that also carried 2 game suspensions. Or so we thought. The Steelheads' first game since then was the home game against North Bay, and I still have the lineup sheet that they gave out from that. You can see Kasper Larsson is on it, but sometime between the distribution of the sheet and the game time, Kasper Larsson was told he was suspended, so he didn't play. So that was the first game of his suspension. The next day, Saturday in Niagara, Kasper Larsson played, so we thought the suspension was over. But it turns out it wasn't. Now, sometime between that Niagara game and the game that the Steelheads played at North Bay this week, They were told that Larson was supposed to have a 2-game suspension, so he had to sit out the North Bay game as well, which I'm sure if JR were given a choice, he would have rather sat Larson at Niagara against the last place team, but wasn't given that choice because I guess there was some miscommunication or whatever, so Casper had to miss that game too. Of course, because Hamilton's Ryan Humphrey was Casper's dance partner in this one, he received the same 2-game suspension. I decided to look at Hamilton's box scores to see if there was any similar miscommunication, and as it turns out, there was. Hamilton played their first game after that on the Saturday, which was the day of the Niagara game for the Steelheads, and by that point, Casper had already missed 1 game. But for some reason, Ryan Humphrey did not miss that game for Hamilton. He played. Even though it was known at that point that Casper Larson had received some kind of suspension for that fight, even though he apparently didn't know it was a 2-game suspension at that time. This was Humphrey's first game since the incident, so it should have been known that he had been suspended too, right? But apparently not. I guess it was all straightened out on Sunday, though, because on Sunday's game for Hamilton, Humphrey did miss that game, and he missed Thursday's game as well. So he got his 2-game suspension served, and so did Casper. So water under the bridge now, but communication was a little shaky there. Notably in the lineup for the Steelheads, with Casper out and Charlie Callahan still serving his 5-game suspension, and Ethan Delmaster, of course, still at the World Junior training camp. William Haley and Liam Spencer were both in the lineup on defense for the Steelheads. Owen Beck had returned from Team Canada training camp after getting cut. Also, Jake Uberti played his first game in a while. With the overagers out, both Callahan and Larson, there was room for Uberti to play, and he recovered from his injury. So he played for the first time in over a month. Ryerson Leaders was in net for the Mississauga Steelheads. In net for North Bay was Dom DeVicentis. Our backup goalie of the week was Jacob Gibbons, who we borrowed from Erie. Interestingly, our backup goalie last week, Sam Hillebrandt, this week made his OHL debut for the Barrie Colts and actually played a pretty good game against the Guelph Storm, winning that. He was the first star, so congratulations, Sam. Jacob Gibbons is our guy this week. The puck dropped, and we got underway. North Bay would get on the board first at the 5:22 mark. It would be Josh Bloom beating Ryerson Leaders, give the assist on this one to Paul Christopoulos, and it would be 1-0 North Bay early in the first. Not too long afterwards, though, at 6:33, the Steelheads would tie it up. Finn Harding getting a big shot off a face-off from Owen Beck. James Hardy would tip in the rebound, gobble it up, and it would be a 1-1 score. Again, the assist to Finn Harding and Owen Beck, James Hardy scoring the goal. 1-1 game. Very shortly after that, at the 7:07 mark, it would be Xander Vecchia right in front of the net, taking a feed and burying it. He would notch his 4th of the season, gave the assist on this one to Owen Beck and James Hardy, and the Steelheads would grab the lead. It would be 2-1. Now the Steelheads' Luke Misa would take a hooking call at the 12:11 mark. That would be the only penalty of the first period on either side, and unfortunately North Bay would take advantage of it. Kyle Jackson would bury a goal to tie the game, give the assist on this one to Josh Bloom and Matvey Petrov. And on the power play goal, it would be 2-2. 20 seconds left in the first period now. This is one I think Ryerson Leaders would like to have back. It's one he thought he had covered up, was under him, but Ty Nelson was able to see it loose and get it loose and put it in the net while Leaders was a little bit relaxed. It's going to be a learning experience for him, I guess. But Ty Nelson gets the go-ahead goal, assist to Paul Christopoulos and Kyle Jackson, and the first period would end 3-2 for the North Bay Battalion. Second period now, Xander Vecchia and Luca Del Babaluz would both take penalties within seconds of each other. Xander at 5:19 for roughing and Luca at 5:21 for slashing. So Steelheads are killing off a very long 5-on-3. They did kill it off, and then just a few seconds after they were both out, at 7:31, so Luca had been out for 10 seconds, Xander had been out for 12. They both found themselves in front of the net. Xander with a beautiful feed to Luca, which he buried past Dom DeVicentis to tie the game at 3. Luca's goal, Xander with the first assist, Owen Beck with the second assist. I call those Canade goals because Nicholas Canade was famous for scoring goals right out of the box like that. So a very nice Canade goal for Luca Del Babaluz made it a 3-3 game in the second, and that is how the second period would end. That was the only goal. So going into the third, the score was even though the shots were not. The shots ended up 42-21 for North Bay, which is, again, very un-Steelhead-like. But when you're missing a bunch of defensemen, it's bound to happen. Unfortunately, the third period was all North Bay, 13-4 were the shots, and North Bay did kind of break it open. This is where I speed it up a little. Here we go. So those 3 goals would make it 6-3 North Bay and put us on 1 chip watch. But there wasn't a lot of hope for a comeback at that point. It was just over 6 minutes left in the game. Alexander Lucan would take a hooking penalty at the 14-16 mark, and shortly after that, the Steelheads would pull their goalie early. Liam Arnsby would win a face-off in the North Bay zone and chuck it down the ice to score the empty netter. That would make it 7-3, and that would be your final. No video, as I was not in North Bay, so the 3 stars are as follows. Owen Beck was given the 3rd star for his 3 assists, assisting on all 3 Steelhead goals. Paul Christopoulos with 2 assists for North Bay was given the 2nd star, and Josh Bloom with his 2 goals and 1 assist was the 1st star for the Battalion. So a rough one in North Bay. It was time to regroup and move on to Sudbury, where the Steelheads would play on Friday night. Casper Larson would be back from suspension, for real this time. Ryerson Leaders would again start for the Steelheads in net. The Steelheads would not see their old buddy Joe Ranger in net for Sudbury. Nate Krawczyk would get the start for the Wolves in this one. The puck would drop in very cold Sudbury, and we would get underway. It wouldn't be the best start for the Steelheads, as Jake Uberti would be called for a check from behind just a minute 24 into the game. And then at the 2:53 mark, Coach Adelic would take advantage and put the Wolves on the board first. He notches his 5th of the season, give the assist to Jacob Holmes and Quinton Musty. And just like that, it is 1-0 Wolves. Steelheads would even it up late in the first after Dylan Robinson took a cross-checking call. Xander Vecchia with a little skate by the net, and there's no goal horn or barely even a light in Sudbury. One of those where I didn't even know it was a goal until I saw Vecchia go like that. But he did, after he skated by the net, give the assist on this one to James Hardy and Casper Larson. And on the power play marker, it is 1-1. That is how it would be after 1. The Steelheads did get a 5-on-3 chance late in the first, as Nathan Villanova would be called for boarding at 18:38 and Andre Anania would be called for slashing at 19:10. Those, of course, would run into the second, but they both eventually would get killed. There was only 1 goal in the second period. That went to the Sudbury Wolves' Nick DeGrazia, who beat Ryerson Leaders at 14-14, give the assist on that one to Dylan Robinson and Jakub Kromiak. And after 2 periods, it would be 2-1 for the Wolves. Early third period now, 2:36 mark, and it would be a beautiful left-wing shot from James Hardy that would rifle past Nate Krawczyk and into the net. It was funny, the announcer didn't even realize it was in the net. He thought it was off the crossbar. Yep, that goes to show you, no goal horn, barely a light. It's quiet in Sudbury when the visiting team scores, but Hardy did bury it. He would tie the game, assist to Finn Harding and Owen Beck, and we have a 2-2 game. The exact 5-minute mark of the third period now, William Haley of the Steelheads and Evan Conyon of the Wolves were called for coincidental penalties, Haley for holding and Evan Conyon for goalie interference. So it would be 4-on-4 for a bit. 6:19, it was still 4-on-4, and the Wolves break the tie. David Goyette beating Ryerson Leaders, give the assist on this one to Jakub Kromiak and Dylan Robinson, and we'd have a 3-2 game for the Sudbury Wolves. Those 2 penalties would expire, but just 5 seconds after they did, at the 7:05 mark of the period, Jake Uberti and Jubril Touré of the Wolves would get into it. They would not quite get into a fight. They were separated before that, but they would be called for roughing minors. So we'd see some more 4-on-4, and not too long after that, off a face-off, Casper Larson would rip a shot. James Hardy would knock down the rebound and do a little soccer celly to boot, and we'd have a tie game again. James Hardy scoring his second, Casper Larson with the assist, and Owen Beck with the second one. We'd have a 3-3 game. And less than a minute after that, at the 8:13 mark, James Hardy would get a pass from Owen Beck, Beck passing from behind the net, and Hardy burying it to complete the hat trick. All 3 goals within 6 minutes of each other, so nice little feat there, and the Steelheads would lead for the first time 4-3. Assist to Beck and Parker Von Richter would get the second assists. 4-3 Steelheads. And that is how this game would end. They would hang on and win. A well-needed, well-deserved win in Sudbury to pick up 2 points. Let's talk a little bit about James Hardy, by the way. That hat-trick goal happened to be James Hardy's 200th career point in the OHL. The all-time Steelheads exclusive record for points in the OHL is Michael McLeod with 207. So Hardy is just 7 behind that. 8 more points, and Hardy is the new champion, Steelheads exclusive. I say Steelheads exclusive because Riley Brace had 234 career points, but he just played his overage season with the Steelheads, which was the first Steelhead season. He played his previous 4 seasons with the Mississauga St. Michael's Majors, the precursor to the Steelheads. So I'm going to say Steelheads exclusive, 2 of 7 is the record. The all-time goal record, by the way, too, is 114, set by Owen Tippett. and James Hardy's at 111, so that record is very close to being shattered as well. So a lot to watch for in the coming months and weeks with James Hardy. Again, no video, so the 3 stars from the game in Sudbury were as follows. Jakub Kromiak with his 2 assists would be the 3rd star. Nick DeGrazia of the Wolves would get the 2nd star with his goal, but they couldn't hometown the 1st star. James Hardy with his hat trick would be star number 1. Shots were looking much better in this one. It was 32-21 for the Steelheads, the final tally. They would travel home, they would get Saturday off before closing out the unofficial first half with a home game against the rejuvenated Kitchener Rangers. The Rangers have been on the outside looking in as far as playoffs go for much of the season, but they did just make a couple of forward pickups, Francesco Arcuri from the Kingston Frontenacs and Leighton Moore from the Oshawa Generals. So they are looking to make a run. I saw a picture on Twitter actually earlier in the week, right before they both played their first game, Moore and Arcuri with the Rangers, showing the top scorers of the Rangers and how both Arcuri and Moore were in the top 3, Arcuri actually leading them before they'd even played a game with the Rangers, so that was kind of funny. So obviously those acquisitions mean the Rangers are not looking to give up on this season. They do want to end the first half of the win, as do the Steelheads. So here we go. Here's the pregame I got from the home game against the Rangers. All right, one more game before the holidays. Been a while since I've been to one because I couldn't go to the other ones this week, but yeah. Ooh, Raptors 905, fun. But yeah, let's walk around, see when the Rangers bus gets here, and go from there. World Cup final, 83rd, soon to be 84th minute, and we have a 2-2 tie. I left Orangeville after the first half, and it was 2-0 Argentina, so France, I guess, came back. I've never seen this place so crowded. Might be more people here than there are at the hockey game. Mbappe penalty kick could tie it. And it's tied. Wow. Just for you, Mbappe. Argentina can win it with a goal. That's it! Argentina wins the World Cup, y'all. That was a great game. Now let's go watch a great hockey game. So distracted by World Cup mania that I almost forgot about this, but the Rangers are here, and we got a game. Oh, let's go Steelheads. Oh, let's go Steelheads. Smile, JR. Love the suit. Love it, big guy. That is Jacob Gibbons, our backup goalie of the week. I don't know, you're the biggest kid here. I don't think you have a chance. Yeah. Ride the coattails of your buddy here. Well, what do you know? The little stinker got one. Do you know Super Freaky Girl? I guess not. Got a celebrity in the house. Love to see it. Ryerson Leaders would again get the start for the Steelheads in net. The Rangers would counter with former Bulldogs goalie Marco Costantini. After the beautiful moment of silence held for Abakar Kazbekov before the game, the puck would drop and we would get underway. It was a pretty even first period. The shots were 11-8 for the Steelheads. Both goalies would pretty much stand on their head. Leanders and Costantini both making some great saves. There was just the one penalty taken by Kasper Larsson, but it wouldn't amount to anything. There would be no score after one. Second period now, Chaz Sharp would take a tripping call at the 2:14 mark and then at the 4:06 mark, so the penalty was almost over at this point. Kitchener would break the ice on a goal by Carson Retkoff. Top corner over the shoulder of Ryerson Leaders, give the assist on this one to Francesco Pinelli and Hunter Brstevich, and it would be 1-0 Kitchener Rangers. Shots for the Steelheads were 15-8 in the second period for a two-period total of 26-16 in favor of the Steelheads, and force shots don't matter if none of them are getting by the goalie. Kitchener Rangers would make it 2-0 by the end of the period. At the 17:50 mark, Reed Vlad would beat Ryerson Leaders. Assist on this one to Matthew Andonovsky and Francesco Pinelli. And at the end of two periods, it would be 2-0 for the Kitchener Rangers. Try as they might to ride that shot momentum, the shots in the third period would be 12-5 in favor of the Kitchener Rangers, so that period would not be good for the Steelheads, unfortunately. They would still lead the shots in the game, 31-28, but not much going on in the third period. At the 4:40 mark of the third, it'd be Simon Motu making it a 3-0 game, the lone assist to newly acquired Leighton Moore, and the Rangers would have a 3-0 lead, and I would have a 1-chip watch. The Rangers would continue to ride the wave. At the 9:37 mark of the third period, Reid Vlad would notch his second goal of the game, assist on this one to Carson Rekov and Hunter Brustevich. Don't know what it is about the new iteration of the Rangers. Of course, they've gotten stronger with the acquisitions of Arcuri and Moore, but I guess the players have responded to the GM's belief in them. The Steelheads would finally break the ice not long after that at the 10:05 mark, and it would be a special when Lucas Carmiris, with a nice little tip in front of the net, would notch his first career goal in the OHL. Give the assist on this one to Chaz Sharp, and also the first career OHL assist for defenseman William Haley. So a couple of firsts on that one would break the ice. It would still be a long way to go for the Steelheads, still down 4-1 to the Kitchener Rangers. Unfortunately, milestone goal or not, this would not be the Steelheads' night overall. Francesca Pinelli would get another goal at the 12:46 mark to make it 5-1. Give the assist on this one to Leighton Moore and Francesco Arcuri. And 5-1 would be our final, so the Steelheads would limp into the break with a tough loss. Not the way you want your last game before the break to go, but we will have Charlie Callahan coming back after the break. His 5-game suspension is now done. Ethan Del Mastro will come back a little over a week into the second half once the World Juniors are done as well as Alessio Bellieri. So knock on wood, we should have a full lineup by then, and then the trade deadline is coming up pretty fast as well. So chance to make some additions as well, but not the way you want to end the first half. Here are the 3 stars and what I got post-game.
Here are today's 3 stars of the game presented by Pro Hockey Life. Raise your game. The third star from the Steelheads with his first OHL goal, number 93, Lucas Carmiris.
Attaboy!
The second star from the Rangers with a goal and 2 assists, number 71, Francesco Pinelli. And the first star from the Rangers with a 30-save effort, number 33, Marco Costantini.
Bro, Billy wants their signature.
Yeah.
If you were going, would you be like running and stuff fighting everyone?
I definitely got the next one. I tried to.
Merry Christmas, dude. New guy gets an autograph too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Other boy get
Yeah. Sorry.
Merry Christmas. All right, you too, bud. Thanks again,
Yeah.
Nick.
Merry Christmas, buddy. Yeah. Yeah. Merry Christmas, man.
Hey, Merry Christmas, Jordan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I got it. Stick boy right here. I'm not holding that. Yeah.
You want to say?
Okay. Yeah.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, buddy. Yeah. Is that the weirdest thing you ever signed?
It's the first water bottle I've sent.
Yeah. See? Milestone right there.
Yeah, sure.
Merry Christmas, Del. Yeah. Yeah. Merry Christmas, man. See you, buddy. Yeah. You might be in line. Yeah. Merry Christmas, Struts. Yeah.
Merry Christmas.
Oh, so you guys go practice out?
Yeah. 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 Merry Christmas, Xander. Congrats, Lucas. Merry Christmas. Yeah.
Really? A piece of paper? You can't sign a hat. What if I got it? It's too difficult.
Yeah, he got like 100.
Well, I gave him a signature. What's Coach Rob gonna say?
Yeah, he was I love the hats. Yes, he's Wait, did you sign something? Did you sign something for him? Did he get signed by Prime Model?
Yep, don't you guys.
Okay, sounds good. Yeah, we'll set something.
Well, the boys get a well-deserved break now. We'll regroup after that. But in the meantime, I hope all of you have a great Christmas. Thank you all for your continued support. And we'll see you after the holidays. So the Steelheads are struggling right now. Of course, with Ethan Del Mastro away right now and not coming back until the first week of January, something like that. That is to be a little bit expected, but they were struggling a bit before he left too, so they do have some things to figure out. Hopefully things do get better when we have a full lineup again, and as I mentioned, trade deadline is coming up January 10th. January 9th is the deadline for overagers, which we still do have 4 overagers, and after the trade deadline we do have to be down to 3, so that is one thing we do have to watch for. Even with the recent subtractions of Isaac Enright and Zach LeBlanc, James Richmond has said that he is not doing a fire sale. The team is very much still expected to contend, even though right now it is in the lower half of the playoff picture. It did show promise early on in the season, and we know that is in them to do, so hopefully when things return to normal a little bit, we see some more of that, and maybe we get some help as well. Of course, the Steelheads and the Ontario Hockey League are taking the week off this week, so I will be as well. I thought about maybe doing a mid-season review, something like that, but it has been a fast time in my life with work and Christmas and YouTube and everything else. So one of the best ways you can take care of yourself is know when to slow down, and that's what I'm going to be doing this week. But I hope you all have a Merry Christmas. Thank you again for all of your support, and I will see you in the new year. The Steelheads will be coming out of the holiday break with a 3-3 on the final 3 days of the calendar year. Thursday, December 29th, they will make their first visit of the season to Peterborough to take on the Petes. Friday, December 30th, they will be in Hamilton taking on the Bulldogs, and then Saturday, December 31st, a rare home game for the Steelheads on New Year's Eve, taking on those same Hamilton Bulldogs. So Thursday the 29th at Peterborough, Friday the 30th at Hamilton, and then Saturday the 31st at home to Hamilton. That is how the second half will kick off. Also a reminder that the World Juniors are coming up soon. If you want to keep an eye on Team Canada and Ethan Del Mastro, the schedule is as follows. December 26th at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Time, Canada will play Czechia. December 28th, again at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Time, they will play Germany. They will play Austria December 29th at 6:30 Eastern Time, and they will close out the round robin on December 31st, again at 6:30 Eastern Time, playing Sweden. Also, if you want to keep an eye on Team Switzerland and Alessio Bellieri, their schedule is as follows. They're in the other pool. So they kick off their schedule December 26th at 11 a.m. Eastern Time against Finland. Then on December 27th at 4 p.m. Eastern Time, they play Latvia. December 29th, again at 4 p.m. Eastern Time, they play the United States. And they close out their round robin December 31st at 11 a.m. Eastern Time against Slovakia. Once again, I end by asking the OHL and CHL please allow the fair use of your professional and amateur footage, help the small media so they can help you. Until next time, you can find me behind the bench and only the bench. This is Jordan signing off. Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, and bye-bye.